G'day guys, Man of Zeros Play Heroes here and just playing the PC beta of Call of Duty World War II. For some odd reason they decided to be still patching during gameplay even though they did a patch before the game started up. That aside, it kind of ruined the performance initially, and if you watch my video you'll see that there's a bit of lag and that type of thing, like especially low reaction time. Like I'm not the fastest Twitch shooter ever, but I'm usually not that bad. And it's one of those things where it dampened the experience a little bit. And if we're gonna talk about the experience, the graphics were okay. Let's let's break it down to what it was. It ran pretty well. It is a beta. A lot of stuff is locked. I only played a few maps, and okay, so that's a little bit of the caveats there. Now, the experience I had, it was interesting. Some of the mechanics that were added to like some of the special weapons and stuff were kind of cool. But I don't know, it just feels as though Call of Duty really started to build one way with that kind of futuristic, ultra modern, like those exoskeletons and the wall running and all that type of stuff. And now they've kind of gone, I don't know, like augmenty kind of experimental weaponry in World War II, which is something you can do. But I don't know, it just felt like I was playing World at War. They've treaded this ground before, and this is something they're going to have an issue with. So obviously I reckon they're still going to make a pretty good single player. They always make quite cinematic single players, and I haven't played one in a while, but every time, if you always wanted to play like a bit of an experience, play a cinematic, kick ass, feel like an absolute hero type thing, and the Hell Zeros Play Heroes type thing, Call of Duty was great for that. I think it'll be good. Regardless of what it is, it'll still be good. It'll get a lot of hate because it's fashionable to hate on COD, and it's still a pretty decent shooter. It just feels like it doesn't bring anything new, and I think that's going to be its downfall, is it's treading very familiar ground. It doesn't have something that sets it apart because it's set the precedent. So this is Call of Duty in general, set what the precedent is for a multiplayer close quarters shooter. It is actually being kind of burned by its own reputation, where we expect a bit better from it because it hasn't changed that much from World at War. And that's not to say it doesn't have the capacity to do it. Now, my issue was I digged around a little bit in the scenery, trying to shoot stuff, see if things reacted, just to see little things, and nothing did. Now, once again, it is a beta, but it felt as though if that engine was there, that would happen anyway. And this doesn't feel like it would have the same kind of esports feel as those more modern shooters would. And it feels a little bit like, after playing that, I'm there thinking to myself, I should go play Titanfall 2. It's different. It has the wall running and all the modern weaponry, like weaponry you can't really recognize because it's all new stuff for their universe. This one, I don't know. Maybe the story will be interesting. Maybe the way that, when you get to pick one of those different divisions, which was kind of cool, is an interesting way of doing it. Whether that will give you, whether that'll expand to something bigger, there is that potential there. Maybe that's the something that's missing. But because it's a beta, it doesn't feel like it hints much. And I think you have to hint a little bit. Like, you have to sell it a little bit. And I think by doing those little news segment, whatever, recruiting videos, they were good, but they didn't really hint at the possibility at the end. Like, oh, it shows, you get this weapon, you'll get this ability, and there's something hidden. You're like, yeah, but it wasn't tantalizing. I think that's the big issue. But I don't know, there was just weird things. And I think the other thing that stood out weird for me was, so I used the shotgun for the most part because it was a cool, it was the Vive la France, it was this whole revolution thing. And I normally don't pick the French because, well, they're French. Nothing against French people. It's just this usual, it's a stereotype. And I was going to play as either the Canadians or the British because, well, they seemed awesome. Hop, hop. Alrighty, yo. Party bang bang. It was this weird kind of over the top fun, and I don't know, it just seemed like it'd be a great one to play as. But you picked them and it didn't seem as though it affected anything, if that makes sense. Like, in comparison, so you get to pick factions in Titanfall 2. When you pick factions, there's little flavor things in there, little flavor text, little flavor display things. They have a little bit of conversational pieces when they're introducing who they are, or when you're about to start the match and all that type of thing. You're like, okay, cool. It gives you just that little bit to know who you're playing with or fighting for, all that type of thing. This one didn't, and that's not to say it may not be in there later, but I think it's something that should be in there earlier. Sell that. Like, if this is your selling point, and someone posed the question, we're all waiting for the game to end, the thing to end, and people are going to buy it, and nobody responded. And that doesn't mean that's good or bad, but I don't know. I asked that same question to myself, literally as they wrote that. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I will. I think it's one of those ones where I think this is something I want to talk about anyway, where games are going in these iterations over again every year. And honestly, it'd be nice to see that cycle be broken. And in this game, I think the potential's there. I can see it's a good game. I think if you're a Call of Duty fan, buy it. That's straight away. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be Call of Duty. It's going to be familiar, but it's going to take a little bit away of maybe you've learned how to wall run, you know. And I've watched some of those incredible videos where people have gone all Dishonored on people and just like wall running and using the weapons beautifully and changing the way the game's ever been played, which is just the best. Watching those videos are fantastic. I think this game pulls away from that. And the big issue that Activision and Sledgehammer are always going to have with this is that you could say it's inspired a little bit by Battlefield going back into World War One. Battlefield's still got its niche. It is still large, multiplayer, big maps, vehicles, and they earned a little bit extra on that by, you know, adding the big juggernauts that were thematic to the gameplay and thematic to the actual series of what they were doing. So, you know, the big, what were they, the Zeppelins and stuff like that, and the big tanker bloody ships and all that stuff. Like, that's awesome. And the trains and all that. And it had that, it felt right, even though it was over the top, it felt right for what you were selling. And I don't know, I just think that World War II, it was, it's a really hard one with COD. It's COD. There's no point saying whether it's good or bad because it's still very, very good. It will be high quality. It will have very little bugs. The maps will play beautifully. You'll be able to play online all the time. There'll be people always playing. And for that, I think it's a worthwhile game. If you want to play competitive, multiplayer, online shooter, and you want to get a game, get this game. There will always be people playing this until the next COD comes out. And I think that's one of the things we have to say is that Call of Duty can't be killed in that way. Whether I think this is an advancement for their multiplayer, I don't know. I don't think it brings anything new, but that's yet to be seen because the beta was very closed. But even the environments looked a little bit murky, and I think, yes, people could say, oh, that's a beta thing as well. But is it? It seems as though if you were going to put anything of effort into the beta, you'd make sure the maps were pretty crisp, like high quality, and like the physics worked really well and all that type of thing, because that's something you should be testing as well. And they weren't. And it's like, I have a pretty decent graphics card. It's a GTX 1070. It should be able to run this. So it shouldn't be based on that. And I just think it's, it feels like a lost opportunity. Now, I've turned this into a lot longer than I meant to, but I think if you want to get the new Call of Duty, definitely get it. If you want to get it, go get it, because it will be good. That's the best part about Call of Duty, is it will be a good game. It will still be a solid 6 or 7 out of 10, which is a great score. You know, that's a very, very good score. But I don't think you should go in there expecting anything new. I think there may be minor cosmetic changes, but I don't think the gameplay is going to be that much of a change from, say, the way Infinite Warfares and all those ones that started introducing those cool kind of different technologies to Advanced Warfare. I lost track of the names after a while. But there's some, you know, I think it loses something by taking those elements out or losing those elements because they no longer thematically work. I just don't know. I think it'll be a good game, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to buy. This is Zero Spy Heroes. Now, this is a beta, so once again, everything with a grain of salt. This is just my concerns. When I see a game like this, I think, wow, okay, there's a lot of potential here, but is it the game you want it to be? Is it the game where you're going to go, you know what, I have to get this game? And in comparison to other betas that I've played, even Destiny 2's beta, which I have a feeling is going to disappoint me in the end, it made me want to get Destiny 2. It wasn't the best beta ever, but it had all the elements I wanted to see in the original Destiny that it never had. And Call of Duty, it'll be a good game. That's what I can say. I reckon it'll be a 6, 7 out of 10. It'll still be high quality. It'll get 8s and 9s, possibly, from your IGNs and your Kotakus. Because of course it will, they always do. And it's probably deserving for that audience. For me, I don't think it adds enough for me to go, oh, you know what, I'm going to grab this Call of Duty. I was actually more interested in Infinite Warfare, to be completely honest. But hey, this is Matt of Zero Spy Heroes. Have a great day gaming, an even better day in tech, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers guys, bye.